And State Representative Tim LeGeyt, and Tim is a Republican and the ranking member of that same committee, the Higher Education Committee. So perfect that you were able to be here with us today. Let's start with that UConn plan, because it has been much talked about. Senator LeGeyt, some of those questions have to do with the price tag and where we're going to come up with that money right now. And what are your questions about the whole plan?
Well, price tag is significant. That's certainly a case. I think that there's a great possibility for the bioscience industry in Connecticut, and wrapping it around UConn Health Center makes good sense. I don't know that it's going to be easy, though, to dovetail that with all the concerns and needs that the rest of the hospital industry has in Connecticut, and so I wait for some of the details that are going to come out in this info session to find out how that's going.
What are you hearing from the hospitals? I know the last time that there was a plan to expand the health center, there was a great hue and cry from other hospitals in the region.
Well, I think there's a real concern because while there was agreement last time based on balancing bed numbers and balancing services, all of that is now back in the mix. Mm-hmm. So something has to be seriously talked about and negotiated, and I expect that that's probably already happening.
Let's talk about some of the other issues that are facing the Higher Education Committee, because the big thing that before this UConn thing came out, the biggest thing was really the governor's determination to try and consolidate higher ed. Now, we'll get into that in a second, but first I know something that both of you are really concerned about is the recent announcement from the community colleges that they no longer really have an open door policy. That's officially on the books, but because of several of them reaching capacity, that's not the case. Mr. LeGeyt, that's the place that most students turn to. They feel if they're going to get their foot in the door of higher education, they need those community colleges. Are you worried about this?
Well, certainly I am, and you know, community colleges are different than the four-year institutions that we have in our state. Community colleges are the first resort for people who are struggling to find their way through college, and many of the students come to the community colleges looking for a track that will take them into the workforce rather than towards a four-year degree. So there's a very different need in the community colleges, very different mission, very different service situation, and I'm concerned about lumping the community colleges in with the four-year institutions in the reorganization that's been put forward.
Why are you concerned about that? Are you afraid that their mission will get lost?
I am, and I'm also concerned about the administrative structure that's been put forward with the Board of Regents and the CSUS system and the community colleges being administrated by them. Mm-hmm. Community colleges have a different mission. They're a different type of educational institution, and I fear that they're going to get lost in the shuffle when it comes to trying to find their way and advocate up toward the Board of Regents, and then when funding would descend downward to them, I don't think they're going to get a fair shake, and I'm very concerned that it's, even though there's an extra $2 million worth of savings, I don't expect that that's going to be worth the benefit.
It all sounds like it makes sense. Streamline administration. That would seem as though you'd save some money. It would seem as though you might streamline. Always sounds like a good thing. What's the pitfall then?
I think the pitfall is that what you described as the big picture, large changes, general organizational change, large dollar amounts of savings, but when the details start to flesh out and the smaller decisions are made that put some of these guidelines into effect, I'm concerned that the community colleges are going to be struggling to have a voice and also to get their fair share of the budget dollars to serve their mission.
Well, I'm glad you were both able to be with us. I promised I'd let you go in time to get to that informational session, so I am going to let you go, and we'll be carrying that live. Thank you so much, Roberta Willis and Tim LeGeyt. Pleasure to talk to you. We'll be following what happens with both issues.